Do you ever get that feeling at the start of a hobby project? You know, you've bought all the stuff, you may even have built it, and then you think, I've actually got to paint this. And then you get that sapping feeling, that lack of energy or motivation, where you're not alone. It's just me today. This is my vlog. This is episode 2, whatever that means. And yeah, today I'm preparing for what I'm calling the Goblin Oath, which starts either this Friday or it's already started, dependent on when I release this. I released the first one of this on Sunday, but it was meant to come out on another day. I'm losing track of days and time, space and time. I'm sounding like the wizard now. Huh?
Yeah, you should let me be in control.
Not happening, mate.
Please.
Where do you start a massive project like this? And to be fair, I had to remind myself of exactly what it is that I usually do, whether it's a big or small project. And honestly, it's really boring. It's just a list, and I do it on my phone. So yeah, I've got like a simple checklist, and it's satisfying to check them off. This is quite basic. This will get sort of more complex as I go through it, as it always does. Honestly, it's just taking it step by step, and motion creates momentum. And that's what we're going to start doing today. I've got today to prepare all of this stuff, and then I've got tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening to do all of it in between work. I'm going to do the sword goblins, they're not men. I did a calculation just on, just the sword goblins, and there are 420 individual goblins. It's a lot, yeah? One big problem is though, I've just run out of double-sided sticky tape, and I've also run out of black primer from the rattle can. That is a significant issue for me because I'm absolutely skint right now, is the brutal truth. It isn't impossible, it just means that things are going to be a bit harder. I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate with working all the time and somehow, especially towards the end of the month, being absolutely skint. Yeah, I'm starting to feel that momentum I was talking about, and all it took was, as generic as it sounds, starting to do it. These were actually printed by my friend Ollie, so thank you, Ollie, for doing these. These were like the first, I think these are version 1 at least, that Dan finished first and then sent it to Ollie. Very, very kindly printed them for us, and he also helped recently with the project that I did with Worcester Terrarium, so thanks, dude. So that's the priming stick ready to go. All right, so that's the hobbying for this evening done. So let's go on an adventure, and we're gonna see what's behind this secret door. Gotta do this padlock. Right, I have to put this camera down. So yeah, where were we? Secret door. Ooh, it's dark. Let there be light. This I've been calling the armory, and basically there were all these hooks and things here. I don't know what they were for before, but now they hold all of our neoprene swords, which is obviously dope. And then me and Harry have spent a good 5 years sword fighting almost every day. It's the other hobby that I haven't actually shared with you guys, but I think it'd be cool at one point to have a sword duel in one of the skits or something. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. My favourite sword is a question that I would ask myself. Probably this one. Well, that's cool. I'll do that. 2 dimensions there, look. It's time to tidy up a bit, create a little bit of order. This is another thing that is always going to stop you from hobbying, and that is, certainly it does for me anyway, and that's just chaos. certainly for me, it's visual chaos. Like everything's a mess. Can't find anything. It's, you know, I need things to at least have a sense of order and symmetry. Yeah, there's nothing really in there. Yeah. I actually already found this. I just didn't film it, so I thought I'd make it look like I just found it. Like, oh, there. Oh, look, it's just conveniently there. We can roll dice into that. I think you should always have dice in your car, you know, because you never know. So yeah, okay. This is the dice cam situation. Got a 360 cam here, so you'll probably even see my reaction from above. Let's make that wider, so you know, from above, but also from this camera here. Roll the dice into it and the camera will see it, and we can even zoom in and can control all that stuff, so that's gonna be pretty mad. So I've just finished this week's Goblin Oath challenge. Quite tired, I was up late last night doing it. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking at the results right now. I'm not going to show you because I think you should go and watch episode 1 of the Goblin Oath to see how that went. And if you don't know what that's about, basically I roll a dice, and dependent on the results of that dice as to how much I have to paint. And if I fail to paint that, or if I don't make the upload of the video by 2:15 on the Friday of that week, then I have to give it all away to one of you. So that was really interesting. A totally new concept. Never tried anything like that before. That's really cool. But anyway, what turned up last night, I had to be really disciplined to not open it, is this package. And I'm going to show you what's inside. That is, yeah. Oh. Wow. So Matt from the Dragon Workshop sent me this absolutely amazing replica Goblin helmet. He's so talented. This is handmade. It's made from EVA foam. So it's perfect if you know, I don't know, if you're a LARPer or something like that. It's not something that I currently do, but I will be doing something really creative with this to display in the studio and to do some interesting skits with. Now I just kind of want to put this on. Wow, okay, let's put it on. Oh my God. Actually a perfect fit. I feel like a goblin. Please though, go and check out the Dragon Workshop. He's got an Instagram and he's got a website. I'll put all this in my description, and get one of these made for yourself. Like if you're interested in LARPing or you just want something amazing to display in your house and you love Lord of the Rings, or to be honest, like any fantasy thing, I'm sure he can make anything. I know that recently he struggled because he had problems with Etsy and he really wants to get his business back off the ground. And I just think we need to help people that are hand-making things. We need to not lose these skills, these abilities that people have because they can't afford to do them. And we're going to be seeing this in upcoming Wizard's Brush episodes in the skits and stuff, so keep an eye out for that. So a quick shout out here to Kinsfolk Miniatures. He's got this amazing vlog he's been doing about, you know, hobbying and stuff like that. And he's this really talented sculptor, and his channel is relatively unknown. It's got 344 subscribers. I mean, this video has got 60 views. Some of these only got 25, but the quality of these vlogs is just amazing. And he's got so much value to give and so much to say. So if you haven't already, I'll put a link in my description. I'll actually put a card here to have a look at the one I'm watching right now, and just go and send him some love and go watch his channel, put a comment on some of his videos. I think this guy deserves to, you know, pop over that 1,000 subscriber mark. So I think in terms of starting projects, like actually making those first steps, I think the most important thing to know is that once you've started, each successive step's going to take you closer to that end point. And I know it sounds super simple, but sometimes it feels like these projects are going to never end or feel like they're a slog. But actually, when you get into them and you get into that momentum, like, I think the joy is in actually doing it. I think once it's finished, I have a sort of empty feeling, and then things go back on the shelf. And sometimes it just gives me great joy to paint something for someone, like when I was a commission painter, and then give it to them and have them enjoy it, if I've done a good job, I suppose. And that kind of highlights something that Michael from that one video said the other day when we were doing a little podcast thing. And he said, it's the joy of the doing, and once it's done, it doesn't really matter. And finished a lot of projects in here, and it just felt like some of them were never going to end, and I was never going to do them. And I think really, for me, I'm saying this for me, really, it's about finding the joy of just doing it again. And I've found since I've been here that I've found that again. I think in some ways starting is the easy bit. Finishing, that can be hard. And sometimes I think that's why I need this guy.
Yeah.
Much as it pains me to say it.
Exactly. What would you do without
All
me?
right, mate, don't get too big-headed.
Yeah, all the skills,
Yeah.
all my skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell them about the Goblin Oath.
Yeah, and the Goblin Oath, go and watch the Goblin Oath. Yeah, I'll see you next week.